Good morning, Unity, Walnut Creek. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Oh, I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. Spirit told me that I had to be good. But now I love because I want to. I love because I'm free. Blinded by the Spirit. Oh Lord, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, I don't need any prodding. I don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my all in all. I let go of a burden. Loving God has set me free. Blinded by the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, 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 Spirit of God is upon me. Oh. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Oh, I thought it was my duty. I thought it was a job. So I believe that loving God must be hard. But loving God is wonderful. Loving God is ecstasy. Thank God for my freedom. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, 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 Spirit of God. Oh, Spirit of God. Oh, Spirit of God. Oh, Spirit of God. Oh.
Wow, that's wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Carolyn Jansen, and I also wish you a good midsummer.
Which, if you don't know what that is, which is why Carolyn's got this beautiful flowers in her hair. In the Swedish tradition, we celebrate right this time of year, the equinox, and everybody gets together and has a giant party that lasts all day and all night, just about. And we participated with our Swedish friends yesterday, and traditionally, women wear flowers in their hair. So Carolyn.
And we dance around the maypole flower, and all in Swedish, Swedish dancing. It's wonderful.
There actually is Swedish food, and it's really good. Yep. So my name is Carl, and I'm glad to have you guys here today.
And we want to greet and bless all of you, and all of you especially who are watching at home. Your presence adds so much to our service. Thank you so much for being with us. Please join me in welcoming our guest musicians. Where did they go? They're back here. The Sounds of Joy, Deborah, Martha, and Cassandra. Joined by Patrick on the keyboards.
Patricia.
sorry, Patrick. And Dusty on bass, and Dan on the drums. And thank you so much for sharing your music with us.
I got a preview at the 9:30 service. You guys are going to go nuts later on. In a great way. So Reverend Kristin's talk today is titled Foundations of Light.
And before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones to silent and enjoy this sacred time together.
Now let's take a moment to be grateful for the land our center rests upon. This is Bay Miwok and Yukot's land, and we honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people, Ohlone people. We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of today and are grateful for those who stewarded the land before us. We commit to taking care of these sacred grounds and Mother Earth. Am I on the right page? Yeah. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living, and our vision for the world is we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
We envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives, and our mission is who we've come here to be. Let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity in sacred service for all. Our core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
If you are with us for the first time, welcome. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we may give you a welcome packet. All returning veterans. So I do invite everyone to go to the bookstore today after the church, after service, and meet on the patio. And if you are new and chose not to raise your hand, that's just perfect, but you may still join and meet us out on the patio. And there's good coffee always available. Swedes love good coffee, by the way, so that's part of the tradition too.
With fika. Connection cards are available in the newcomer welcome packets in the seat pockets in front of you, and these are for everyone. And with these cards, you may submit a prayer request or a comment, and our prayer team will pray with you throughout the week.
You may also share feedback or request information, so please place your card in the basket along with the offering.
For those of you viewing online, connection cards are available on the Watch Live page.
We have several activities to highlight this week. The start of summer is the perfect time to nourish your soul, set intentions for growth, and cultivate joy and abundance. Andrea Starn and Brenly Rita invite you to their summer morning retreat this coming Saturday, June 24th. So come and enjoy meditation, mindful movement, experiential practices, and create a vision board based on summer themes of light, love, manifestation, and hope. You can reserve your seat today in the bookstore. Yeah, Carol's going, this sounds good.
It does. I've been in their workshops before, and they are wonderful. Unity is raising funds to replace the heating and air conditioning unit in the residence that Unity owns. And the new unit is 100% electric, and therefore it's better for the environment, it's better for the energy costs, and it's a good home investment. And our first goal is to raise $6,000. since a generous congregant is offering $3,000 half matching funds. To date, we have raised the first $2,000. So we're asking you to give to this project as you're able to, and beyond your regular giving, please clearly memo your gifts with HVAC. I don't know what that stands
Heating,
for.
ventilation, and air conditioning. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
I was around that industry and I never knew what the V stood for, but Mike helped me out today. And I have a special announcement that I want to make, and I'm really proud for all of us. Unity has been granted the Green Star Award by Unity Worldwide Missions, and it's for all the things, yeah, clap for yourself, please.
Yes.
And it's for all the things we've done to make our campus as environmentally friendly as it can be. But beyond that, it's to educate, and even involves education about racism, and involves a lot of things that are needed for the world right now, that's for sure. Also, additionally to this, because of what we've done, we've been told that we are a way shower, which means other Unity communities that say, gee, I want to embark on this program, or can feel free to call us up and say, how did you solve this problem, or what did you learn from doing this? So it's a real neat thing. And everybody did it. It's just a great effort by everyone. So thank you to all of us.
It's wonderful to be a resource, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of a nice honor. So for more information for any events that we talked about, you can pick up flyers on the patio or go see our website for a full listing and registration and information of other events.
So as we prepare for our time of meditation, please join me in taking a conscious breath and affirming our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We begin with a reading followed by music, guided meditation, and silence.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth, soon happy solstice, and we've already had the Swedish greeting as well, so there's a lot going on right now. The reading today is in honor of Juneteenth, the day that Texas slaves learned that they were free 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed. So shortly after the Civil War, George Pullman would seek out former slaves to work as porters on his railroad sleeper cars. And they were called the Pullman Porters, to give a little context for our reading today. Our reading is really connecting the dots from that time of slavery to the birth of the Civil Rights Movement. This is a portion of the poem Rosa Parks by Rickie Giovanni.
This is for the Pullman porters who smiled and welcomed a 14-year-old boy onto their train in 1955. They noticed his slight limp that he tried to disguise with a doo-wop walk. They noticed his stuttered and probably understood why his mother wanted him out of Chicago during the summer when school was out.
14-year-old black boys with limps and stutters were apt to try to prove themselves in dangerous ways when mothers weren't around to look after them.
So this is for the Pullman porters who looked over that 14-year-old boy while the train rolled. This is for the men who kept him safe.
And if Emmett Till had been able to stay on that train all summer, he would have maybe grown a bit of a paunch, lost some of his hair, certainly, probably have worn bifocals and bounced his grandchildren on his knee, telling them about his summer riding the rails.
But he had to get off that train. And he ended up in Money, Mississippi. And he was horribly, brutally, inexcusably murdered.
This is for the Pullman porters who, when the sheriff was trying to get the body secretly buried, they got Emmett's body on the northbound train. They got his body home to Chicago, where his mother said, "I want the world to see what they did to my boy." And this is for all the mothers who cried. And this is for all the people who said, "Never again."
And this is about Rosa Parks, whose feet were not so tired. It had been, after all, an ordinary day until the bus driver gave her the opportunity to make history.
This is about Mrs. Parks, Rosa Parks from Tuskegee, Alabama, who was also the field secretary of the NAACP. This is about the moment Rosa Parks shouldered her cross, put her worldly goods aside, was willing to sacrifice her life so that that young man in Money, Mississippi, who had been so well protected by the Pullman porters, would not have died in vain.
When Mrs. Parks said no, a passionate movement has begun. No longer would there be a reliance on the law. There was a higher law. When Mrs. Parks brought that light of hers to expose the evil of the system, the sun came out and rested on her shoulders, bringing the heat of the light of truth, and others would follow Mrs. Parks.
4 young men in Greensboro, North Carolina would also say no. Great voices would be raised, singing the praises of God and exhorting us to forgive those who trespass against us.
But it was the Pullman porters who safely got Emmett to his granduncle, and it was Miss Rosa Parks who could not stand that death. And in not being able to stand it, she set that down.
Adore thee, lay my life before thee. How I love thee, Mother, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Brother, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Sister, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Holy Spirit, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee.
And so, from that heart of our hearts,
deep within the heart of God, we rest and breathe and behold life in its tragedy and triumph, in its healing and its wholeness and its brokenness and its restoration. And in our own hearts as we bear witness, remembering then when a heart breaks, it breaks open to release the love and to receive it more fully. From this place arises our devotion, our worship even, of that which moves and has its being within us and all around us, that which we see in each other in all forms of life. When the inspiration hits us and we know that truth, that the world is indeed spiritually awakening, that all life does thrive in conscious oneness, in its ultimate truth, and we see it manifested as our relative, everyday, physical knowing on earth. I am one with the one. The Father and I are one. The Mother and I are one. I am strong. I am safe. I am at peace. And so let us enter this heart of our hearts more deeply for just a few moments of rest with our God in the silence. The presence of Spirit is made known in the sounds around us. For whoever that siren was intended, we know they are safe and at peace. And for those who are coming to help, we know they are strong and capable. And the birds sing to remind us of our joy in the midst of any pain. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Father, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Mother, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Brother, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Sister, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Holy Spirit, we adore thee. Lay my life before thee. How I love thee. Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation, and love is all we see, honoring all of our differences, and love will set us free. Father God, there's a healing going on. Father God, there's a healing going on. Father God, there's a healing going on. Oh, you rock my soul. Oh yeah, I said, oh, you rock my soul. I see the blessing in the past. It's time to requalify. Let's not forget, but learn to forgive. God knows we gotta try. It's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. Compassion, faith, and hope, and love, and truth will set us free. Oh Lord, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I say, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Oh yeah, Thank you.
Thank you. Woo-wee! They rocked the house at 9:30 too. Woke us all up. All right, all right. So much to celebrate. Yeah. One Sunday morning, a preacher invited the children up for an object lesson, and he held up a smoke detector, and he said to the children, "Do you know what it means when an alarm sounds from one of these smoke detectors?" And one child's hand shot up, and he said, "It means my daddy's cooking." Now, we know that father had nothing to do with our Unity men's group, because they know how to cook, right? If you're a biological father, an adoptive father, a man or a woman who identifies, or a transgender person who identifies as a mentor or a father figure, I invite you to stand and let us bless you. Let's bless the fathers. Fathers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So fathers, and that father energy in all of us, when it is shining, when it is that bright, shiny, divine light, we know it, we feel it, right? Whether we're shining it or we're receiving it. And it can be multifaceted in how it shows up. One of the ways that is particularly powerful, I think, in the way it shows up is in the confrontation of prejudice. Illuminating that path to justice and healing that it can be for all. And it shows up as action, speaking and standing for others on their behalf. So Michael Marker's father was one of these that exemplified that for him, as well as his best friend Tom's father, Ray, and their friendship that really expressed for him and showed him the way to be this in the world. Michael is the director of Tisdale Indigenous Graduate Studies at University of British Columbia. And he tells the story called Two Dads about the two fathers. He says, growing up in Spokane, Washington, my best friend was Tom Takasaki. And his family lived 2 doors down. He said, we were such good friends and our families on such good terms that we wouldn't even knock. We'd just go in and out of each other's houses whenever we wanted, especially in the summertime. And he said, one day, Tom's father, Ray, pulled me aside. And he told me about how his family were rounded up like criminals and sent to a concentration camp in Idaho in 1942. He said they lost their homes and their business in Seattle, but he made it a point to tell me they never lost their humanity. I felt as if, Michael said, I was being pulled aside and told a secret that nobody knew. That nobody in our city knew, nobody in our world knew, maybe nobody wanted to know. He said one day Tom's dad, Ray, was over telling Michael's dad, Bob, about how that dusty road of theirs was ridiculous and how he planned to go door to door asking the neighbors if they'd be willing to be taxed in order to get the road paved. And Bob said, Ray, I better go with you. And they accomplished that together. And they accomplished many amazing things together as their friendship matured and the two men grew old. In actuality, though, this friendship began even before they met. Because in 1954, just about a decade after World War II, came a knock on the door of Michael and Bob's home when they had just moved in and the rest of their family. And the guy at the door said, I've got a petition here I'd like you to sign. There's a Japanese family that wants to move in a couple doors down. We don't want their kind around here. So we think this petition might run them out. And Bob's response, Michael's father's response, was, "You should probably get off my property before I lose my temper." It might help that Michael's dad, Bob, was over 6 feet tall and a boxer in the Navy. He had an 8th grade education, too, and was from a poor immigrant family. But before that, in that moment when they came, Tom had heard about that story. And it was at his father's memorial service, his celebration of life, Michael's father, Bob's, that Tom drove 6 hours. The two younger friends had not seen each other in over 10 years. But Tom felt it was really important to tell the story from his perspective. And he went like this. Do you know why, he says, that my dad only let us play with you, Michael, and your siblings? He said, because of that. Because of how your father reacted when the man came to the door with a petition. Michael's mother comes from an indigenous and homesteading group of people, and she married this man who wouldn't participate in racism in any way. Michael says, my parents' love for each other ran deeper than the rivers and the lakes around us. And now, he says, they have left me with one question, along with Tom and his father, Ray. How can we not be one people? Divine masculine energy can be a very powerful way for us to heal. It can be a very powerful way, that presence, to right the wrongs in our society of injustice and prejudice. Masculine energy shows up in all of us as a strength and an action and a willingness to act from a place of compassion, from a place of knowing that we are all equal and not separate. We are all one, in fact. Like the Pullman porters who showed up for Emmett Till and his mother and his family, creating a sacred space, holding a space as much as they could, to usher Emmett Till to Mississippi and to usher his body back to his mother so that all could learn, so all could see, so the spurring of the civil rights movement could happen. It takes courage, it takes strength, bravery. And it takes that kind of presence that allows us to feel safe and sheltered and secure and relaxed and at peace. Have you felt that before in somebody's presence? When I was 7 years old, we had moved to a new house, and I would hear these noises in the night. I was sure that there was a giant man in our basement with cement block feet that was walking around all over the basement. And I would lay there trying to be brave. But after a while, my fear would overwhelm me, and I'd run down the hall into my parents' room. My dad would wake with a start, and I'd start tumbling out all these words about the giant in the basement and the big cement feet, and my dad, my tired dad, would get up in his underwear and walk all the way across the house and down the basement steps into the chilly basement. And then he would come back and tell me he looked everywhere, and there was not a person with big cement block feet or giant or anybody actually, in fact, downstairs. And then he would just gently tell me that maybe it was the sound of the furnace. And I did this, I can remember at least 2, probably 3 or 4 times. And every time my dad did the same thing. So even if you didn't have this kind of dad growing up, some of you are going, nope, did not have that experience. And I feel for you if you didn't. But you probably in your lifetime have had somebody who held space for you. Somebody who helped you feel safe in their presence. I invite you just to drop into your heart for a moment and see who comes to mind. Somebody who has helped you feel safe in their presence. what comes is a revelation of your kind of support system and an example of how you might have been supported at some time. It's somebody we can lean on, maybe not currently, but we know what it feels like to have that. And in knowing what it feels like to have that, that desire might get rekindled. I want more of that in my life. I want a bigger support system. And so it allows us to take that first step to co-creating, to manifest, to attract into our life that kind of presence that helps us to feel safe and secure and sheltered and strong. And what is it when you recall that person who allowed you to feel safe? What is it about what they did that especially created that experience for you? You can even drop in again and see, what is it that they did specifically that helped you to feel that way? And more of the nuances or answers may come later for you. But what it helps reveal to us is what we can replicate when we are being that for others. When I think back to what my dad did for me, what he really did for me was he validated my feelings. He validated my experience. It would have been so much easier for him to say, it's your imagination, go back to sleep. But he didn't do that. He got up every time and validated my feelings and my experience. And so now I know, because of that experience, that in order for me to help others feel safe in my presence, I need to validate their experience and their feelings, regardless of what it is. Because it is by doing so that they can feel safer in my presence. And so that's what we're really looking at, is both how do I feel safe in the presence of God, in the presence of divine, in the presence of others who help me experience that, and really know deeply what it feels like and what it is about that feeling that I can now be for someone else. Because we're all on this journey of both receiving and giving, of allowing God to love us and show us the way and be the guiding light for us, and to embody that, to be that very presence of love and light and safety for others. And so it's always a dance of these two pieces in our spiritual walk. We are here on a journey of spiritual awakening, right? And so if I were to say to somebody, it's just your imagination when they tell me something that they're worried about or concerned about or how they're feeling, then it would put me back to sleep, right? And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to be sleepwalking through the earth in our lifetime. We're here to wake up and to help others wake up. As a founding father of the Christian church, Paul said in Corinthians, when I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I set aside childish ways. Now we see but a dim reflection, as in a mirror, but then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. As we spiritually mature then, as Paul is saying, that divine reflection becomes less dim and more illumined, more clear. We begin to see the truth of who we are more and more as we are willing to walk the journey that is spiritual maturity, that is spiritual evolution, that is spiritual awakening. And so the more we engage it, the more we bring our brave hearts to it, the more clearly we shall see. And the more clearly then we can behold and hold up a mirror for others to see as well. That's really what we're all about, isn't it? To see and to help others see. That's really it. I just realized that. To see and help others see. Yeah. And so when you look at your reflection, you can remember as you see, I'm then now going to carry that out into the world. I'm going to be that clear reflection for others so that they can come face to face with the divine truth of who they are. And together, we can heal the world when we're willing to do that, right? Together, we can be that transformation. And so it is about knowing ourselves, as Paul talks about, even as we are fully known. Now we might know a little bit. We might be on our spiritual journey and realize when we look back, wow, I have learned some things. I know a little bit more than I knew back then. I know in part. But as I keep walking, as I keep moving, as I keep allowing myself to embody these truths, then I know fully. I will come to the point when I know fully, even as the divine fully knows me, fully loves me, fully holds me in the highest and best good. There's a story of Saint Romuald in the 11th century in Italy. This young man named Romuald witnessed his father murder someone over a property dispute. So his father offered him two misguided ideas about masculinity based on two false beliefs. One, that property is more significant than human life. And two, that violence is a way to resolve conflict. Romuald's soul could not handle this. He did not want to walk in the path of the example that his father set. He couldn't see another way to be a man in his society or in his place, his community. And so he fled. And he became a monk in the Camaldolese order. In fact, he became a leader that was really influential in the reform of that order. Here's one painter's depiction of Saint Romuald, because he did become a saint. And the painter's description, he says, he sits with raised hands in prayer at the moment when tears of joy and compassion flow, suffused in sudden bright light. His heart is open. He's vulnerable. He's open and surrendered to spirit. He gives healing life with his tears. Romuald is not enslaved. He's not enslaved by thoughts of aggression or dominance or greed. That's not his kind of masculinity. His masculinity shows us the sacred masculine in all of us, the way to become truer to spirit in our expression, to be open, to receive, to let the tears flow of love and compassion, to act from a place of strength. He shows us what a real man looks like, what a whole person looks like. And it's no accident that St. Romuald's feast day is June 19th, Juneteenth. It's part of our collective healing to free ourselves from each other and from ourselves in our mental limitations, in the ways in which we, again, sort of, I don't want to use that word, the ways that we are fear-based, the ways that we are limited, the ways that we shorten the possibilities of who we are, that we keep ourselves small. And it's in those ways that we are freed when we recognize society doesn't have to work the way it looks sometimes. That institutions don't have to be as small-minded as they sometimes operate. That we ourselves, as we awaken and as we walk this and as we take up both our sacred masculinity and our divine femininity, and we let these two, regardless of our gender, be together in that holy marriage within us and express from us in that balanced way, that we provide the way for others, that we shine a light for others. That shifting father mentality frees and heals us all. That shifting father mentality goes from father knows best, right, to an understanding of our innate knowing knows best, and a recognition and support of everyone in knowing that for themselves.
It's egoic, controlling, and dominating, that old way of being that is dying out. It's kicking and screaming as it dies out, you might have noticed. But that's okay. I mean, having some humor around it is helpful, isn't it? That too is healing. To recognize that and to go, oh, there we go again, kicking and screaming, because that old divine father mentality is dying away, or father mentality. And we are moving into a divine father, a mother, knowing wholeness that is a completely different way of being. The Divine Father is a supportive witness to our life journey, a guide on the side. He represents prosperous and loving consciousness that knows that there's enough for all and that all deserve to have from that plenty, from that goodness. As Jesus said on behalf of all of us, I and the Father are one. So we all have, of course, this innate Father within us, and we can call upon it for our own well-being, and we can call upon it to help us to be that shiny light in the world, to be that sacred presence in the world of safety, of security, of encouragement. Expressing the sacred masculine makes us trustworthy listeners. It makes us supporters and cheerleaders of others on their journey. Shining our light in this way contributes to the good of all. As a wise person once said, a father is neither an anchor to hold us back or a sail to take us there, but a guiding light whose love shows us the way. So on this Father's Day, tomorrow on Juneteenth, Wednesday on summer solstice, and every day beyond, let's shine that kind of light for our world. Let's first remember that we are safe in God so that we can be that kind of strength for each other. Will you say this with me? I am safe in God. I am a supportive, illumined presence for all. And so it is.
Excuse me 1 second. I'm flipping a lot of pages here.
Thank you, Kristin. If you'd like to explore the concepts from today's message in greater depth and share your own wisdom, please join us in our spiritual growth circle right here, which meets the first 4 Tuesdays of the month at 7 o'clock, actually in the bookstore. Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain, please serving today, please stand. Our prayer chaplains wear the lavender stoles.
So whether you have a joy or a concern in your heart, today praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
Now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there are a variety of ways to give financially to this community. In addition to checks and cash, you may download the Give app or scan the QR code on the back of the card on the seat back in front of you, or you can set up bill pay through your bank. Those of you at home may click the donate button on the Watch Live page.
I invite you to take your tithe or your offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful.
Thank you.
Wow, sounds of joy. Love the brighter world. That's what I'm going to take with me this week. I hope you will too. Just throughout your week, when you want to bring it, brighter world. Oh, Spirit, we give thanks for this abundance, for the abundant good that is inside each of us that we carry forth into the world as we shine our lights, as we become that shiny, bright, safe space for others, and we allow ourselves to be bathed in that safe light when we need it ourselves. Thank you, God, for all the ways that we are blessed and a blessing. And let's bless this together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. Woo, powerful women. I can feel the energy flowing up here. Also, I just was really struck today by talking about the sacred masculine and feminine. It's like our band is the sacred masculine, holding space and support behind our frontline women here. You know, isn't that cool? That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So our children are having such a good time playing outside on this beautiful day that they're not coming in. So let's just go ahead and bless them, and you can go say hi to them back in the play area. Together, children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, it's good. It's good. It's always good to remind me. So let's go there right now. You may have received one of these as you came in. This is for next week's message. And I want to encourage you to write your spiritual questions down. So if you've got something you're living with, you're living into right now that you'd like a little bit more feedback or perspective on, write your question down. If there's some unity teaching that confounds you that you'd like a little more light shined on, if there's something that just sticks for you in your craw and you want to understand better from a spiritual perspective, I'm going to do my best I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm going to respond to your questions next week. And I can only respond to them if you write legibly. So if you have a question, write it down legibly, and you can, do we have a basket or something? There's a basket out in the foyer that you can put it in, and there's one in the back you can put it in. Thank you, Carl. All right, shall we close out?
Holy, holy, all love, holy, holy, all love, holy, holy, all in my mind, in my heart, and my soul. Now I know all is love, holy, holy. You are the light and the love and the strength on earth right now. So let your light shine. Have fun and spread joy. So it is.